Namaste ji, namaste. Welcome to Courtroom. Before we start this discussion on the proposed 3-year practice rule, let me tell you something. I will not say anything that you do not already know. So I know that you have already watched an n number of videos on this topic, and this is perhaps just one more. However, I do not have any course to sell you. I don't have any batch discounts. I have nothing going on. I just wanted to talk to you. So, primarily based on my teaching experience for judicial service examinations, there are three categories of students right now, and one is the most affected. And that one is either you graduated last year or perhaps the year before, and you put in, you went all out in your prep, and you haven't practiced. You have not done anything, and now this एक तरह से तलवार लटकी हुई है. Now, the judgment was reserved on the 28th/29th of January, and it will be delivered when it will be delivered, whenever that is, that they decide. I'll tell you a couple of things from my experience. Perhaps it can act as a guiding map for you. So I have fought, a sort of a similar natured litigation in Delhi High Court once, when they dropped law from the DULLB law entrance, because right now it is a mini SSC ka paper. And we filed a writ, and we created a lot of noise. We got the newspapers and everything was pretty much done. So I fought it because now it was a maths based entrance, and a lot of my students, they're just not good at maths. So if you're not good at maths, then you are certainly not clearing this sort of a paper. All that I learned from that episode is that once the governing authorities decide, nobody can do anything about it. So all of our arguments, that women students will drop out, it won't be a lucrative career anymore, why will I not attempt the UPSC, and why will I only attempt the judiciary, all this jazz they know. In fact, 4 years ago, I created a video. This is still available on this channel. I'll show you, in which BCI had proposed to introduce a 3-year practice clause. और उसके अंदर भी I'd made all the arguments back then कि against it, for it, etc. Somewhere in our heart of hearts, we know this, that the majority of the high courts want it. The amicus is in favor. The bench also, somewhere based on their comments, wants it. Now, we don't know whether it's a 1-year clause, 2-year clause, 3-year clause. We do not know how it will be calculated. We do not know AIB se calculate karenge. We do not know, we do not know anything. In fact, till the time that the judgment is not delivered. So you just have to keep on watching the case status yourself, by the way. And will not go on these dates कि अच्छा आज IA listed है तो आज ही judgment आ रही है. मतलब ये बच्चों वाली बातें प्लीज आप ना करें. अब आप जुडिशरी लेवल पे तैयारी करें. You're not in a law entrance, so just watch the Supreme Court, and you already know the case number. I do not need to take you through all of that jazz. And in your heart of heart that they're inclined towards this practice rule because there's a lot of pressure from the bar. Now, who conducts this exam? This exam is conducted by the high courts, right? And when the high courts, majority of them, except leave Sikkim and I think one more state aside, and I do not know, I can't recall as to which high courts do not want this, but they want the governing body which conducts the examination wants such a thing, and it's been discussed in detail. And the judgment has to come before June because there's they follow a 6-month guideline any which way. From the date the judgment is reserved to the date when it is delivered. So the thing is that we pretty much know it is done. Now there are 3 kinds of students. One, who are still in college. Now you have advance intimation that such a thing is most likely coming in, so that you can prepare accordingly. So now either you prepare right now while you are in college, or you prepare later, much later, alongside practice, which becomes slightly tough. Secondly is the people who are been preparing it for the last 1 to 2 years. It's a bad position to be in. You have my full sympathy and empathy, and I can't do anything much more than perhaps offer my condolences. It's just a very bad situation to be in. But based on my experiences, the waters never really changed for the boat. The boat has to adapt its course, and do the best that you can. So let us just presume. So we do not know. So दे कैन ऑल्सो से भाई कि ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स 1-2 साल से प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं तो हम 2026 ऑनवर्ड्स ये प्रैक्टिस क्लॉज लगा देंगे, जस्ट अ हाइपोथेटिकल डिस्कशन, एंड यू वुड हैव लॉस्ट आउट 2 to 3 months ऑफ योर प्रेप राइट नाउ कि आरजेएस भी होने ही वाला है, एंड होने वाला है नहीं होने वाला है देखते हैं, बट आरजेएस की प्रेप तो फिर फुल स्टीम पे हमें मतलब मेंटेन करनी चाहिए. आई नो इट गेट्स इट इज वेरी इजी टू गिव फॉर मी टू गिव अ प्रवचन टू यू कि ऐसा कर लो वैसा कर लो, ऐसे नहीं सोचना, और मुझे पता है I've been there done that. I was in the same position in the DULLB वाला scene. I have had a lot of students whose the syllabus was changed like right at the very last moment. They were studying law, in-depth law for 6 to 8 months, और last में वो कहते हैं हम तो सिर्फ मैथ्स पूछने वाले, लॉ तो हम पूछेंगे ही नहीं, 1 महीना पहले. So I know what a student goes through, and I pretty much have no solution to offer to you. I have no enrollments. I have no कि आ जाइए हमारे कोर्स में आ जाइए, मैं ऐसा कुछ नहीं बोलने वाला आपको. Not that anyone who's doing it is wrong. They are correct in their own way. Everyone has a kitchen to run. But मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि ये circumstances लाइफ के ये चलते ही रहते हैं. कभी कोई घर पे बीमार हो जाएगा, कभी कोई गुजर जाएगा, कभी आप बीमार हैं एग्जाम से. These are situations which are out of our control. Now this judgment is out of our control, right? So we just have to adapt and just get it done and over with. I hope, for your sake, for our sake as well, people who are in teaching, that the judgment is delivered as soon as possible so that we can chart out our future course of action. If they want a practice clause, just get it and be done with it. Or perhaps ideal scenario is implement it from 2026 onwards and let whatever vacancies come out this year, they come out. Let people who have prepared, have given their life, because ये लोग बैठे हैं अपने आइवरी टावर में, they do not know कि इतने erratic schedule के exams, it's not an annual exam, can't be compared to the UPSC, and because UPSC is an annual exam, it takes a hell lot out from you, from us who teach to cover these subjects. 2 साल की almost तैयारी लगती है, you know it, I know it, 2 साल की तैयारी लगती है, and after investing that sort of time for 2 years, there's this tentative clause. So this was always in the pipeline. The judgment has been reserved since January. I know many people are troubled. I wouldn't like to repeat myself, but there is just no way out of it. So I would say presume कि कुछ नहीं हुआ है and just keep on studying. Of course, दिमाग तो चलेगा ही किसी और alternate route पे, but just keep on studying and try to hold focus. If you can, well then get the practice thing rolling. If you wish to pursue a LLM, many people are opting in for that, perhaps planning to opt in for that. So well, then you will have to take suitable action. I would say just take suitable action, and or rather even if you do not wish to take action, तो जो कॉलेज में जो बैठा हुआ जो बच्चा है, जो आज की डेट में जो स्टूडेंट है, जो अभी वकील बनेगा, and you already know advanced information, I would ideally, so group number 1, I would ideally say to you कि आप तैयारी पहले ही करके रख लीजिए. उसके बाद प्रैक्टिस के साथ तो 34-35 लॉ सब्जेक्ट्स बहुत ज़्यादा कठिनाई हो जाएगी. सेकंड, जो लोग ऑलरेडी तैयारी कर रहे हैं, कीप discuss it out with your parents, discuss it out with your peers, that if this happened, then what will I do? Just chart your course out. But do not break your prep cycle, because once that momentum breaks, you know how hard it is to restart the engine again, technically speaking. And the third group of students is who are already in practice. Well, you now know, because your bar members, etc., they will all tell you, and there will be always workarounds to this. I'm sure people will find a way around eventually, like Bharat at the end of the day. So then you also keep in mind as to what you will do if this comes in. So the key clause is if this comes in, and that can only be revealed by the number of judgments. My advice to you is to get off the internet, get off, I've read a couple of posts on Reddit as well. People are agitated, people are mentally exhausted. To tell you honestly, no matter what we say or do, so all of these arguments that it won't be lucrative because females have a subtle pressure of marriage. You have that which men don't, but which you have that on your head. So women के लिए it is double bad, I would say, for the female candidates. But अगर सोच रखा है कि यही करना है, तो फिर might as well try to fulfill the prospective eligibility criteria. सेकेंडली इज मुझे पता है आप बहुत सारे आर्ग्यूमेंट्स आएंगे कि लिटिगेशन में नहीं है, पैसे नहीं है, हम कैसे सर्वाइव करेंगे, वो इनको भी सब कुछ पता है. बट let me be very clear, if the high courts wanted, they will pretty much end up implementing it. So that then of course it's not implemented. I'm not saying it's a done deal, aap khatam hai, hum log khatam hai, everything's over now. But what I would say is that keep this in mind, that if this comes in, what will you do? Second, do not break your prep ka momentum, क्योंकि आप इतने टाइम से पढ़ रहे हैं, preparing, it takes a lot. You've invested into coaching, you've invested into books for your self prep, you've given your life to it. So it doesn't make really any sense based on speculation that you pretty much ran away from the battlefield. Eventually, we never really know what happens. And third is no amount of video. In fact, the more and more discussions, the more and more you watch all of this, the more and more your mind will keep on getting agitated. Perhaps you'll end up in a far worse state than you already are in. I'm talking to the second group of students. So do not do that. And and try to not speculate. Try to not read too much into it. Wait for the judgment. I would say just wait for the judgment. There's nothing else that we can do, is wait for the judgment. That's why I do not like to create videos on these topics. So they will fetch me views, of course. They get the brand name out, etc. Because these are times when people really wish to watch them. But what I've done is what I've realized in life is कि जितना बात करते हैं या जितनी और बातें सुनते हैं, उतना दिमाग और कंफ्यूज होता है. तो कृपया करके अपनी प्रेप मोमेंटम बनाते रहें और दिमाग में एक एक्शन प्लान सोच ले कि अगर ये आया तो मैं क्या करूं या क्या करूंगी. बस that's all that we can do any which way. We can't control the market forces. We can't control, we have to adapt our boat's course thanks to the waters, basically. Thanks to the waters that are there out there. Waters will never really comply with us. Waters will go wherever. And this is the changing nature of life, that everything goes, everything changes, nothing remains the same. And that is, I think, the perpetual dukh also with life. And I have nothing much more to add. I know it is a very deliriously bad situation to be in for preparing for like 1.5 years now. And then I have a lot of students who pretty much, if this practice clause doesn't come in, pretty much will secure a seat somewhere. They're very, very talented students, some of them. And but if they get hit by this, well, then the plans get delayed, and then you have to look out for suitable options. So do that, and keep all of these things in mind. And I wish you all the very best. I wish you that you remain away from life's miseries and sorrows, which life frequently tends to throw at us. I would request you not to take in more information till the time the judgment is delivered. Nothing's going to happen before that judgment is delivered. All of us here or at the other end of YouTube will just want to talk more and more about this issue, because, well, what else can we do as well? But I would say that you keep your prep momentum up and presume that this is not coming, and just keep on studying as much as possible. I know it won't be 100% possible, but keep on doing that. Do not break your momentum. Do not listen into speculation. And of course, it's a free market out there. Everyone can create as many videos as they want to. I can say whatever I want to. They can say whatever they want to. And you can watch whatever you want to, right? I'm no one to tell you precisely what to do, but I can perhaps offer my counsel at these tough times. If you're in college, well, you plan your prep ahead, and it takes 2 years of prep. So you decide whether you want to do it alongside college, or whether you'll think about this job perhaps when you get into practice. You're already a practicing lawyer. Good for you. But then you have to figure out a way to prepare if you're looking specifically seeking to become a civil judge or a JMFC, let's say in Delhi, right? I wish you all the very best. May God bless you always. Let's wait for the judgment. I will talk to you guys again when the judgment is delivered. Wishing you all the very best. Take care. Bye.